Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about gang stalking, operations and tactics, and some of the schemes they like to use. To those of you out there who are targeted individuals like myself, you will recognize many, if not all, of these schemes. To those of you out there who are not victims, by the end of this video, I will have given you many credible sources to do further research on gang stalking. And to those of you out there who are skeptics, by the end of this video, I will have given you some things to strongly consider. So first, to those of you out there who are not victims, you may be asking yourself, what is this gang stalking program we're hearing more and more people talk about every day? What this is a post-2000 COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO, which existed from 1956 to 1971, is America's version of the old Stasi program. Now, this is a program driven by hate, plain and simple. It is methodically designed to psychologically attack the targeted individual in every facet. It is an all-out assault on one's existence. These attacks are personal in nature, and they are designed to attack the targeted individual while he occupies the same environment with the non-victim simultaneously. This program is methodical in design and is executed to near perfection. Now, you may be asking yourself, well, how is this gang stalking possible, and how is this community harassment taking place and we can't see it? We're not aware that it's happening. Well, two major factors are involved. One is the methodology that drives the program, and two are the street-level perpetrators who commit these crimes, which we'll be coming back to later on in this video. So first, the methodology that drives this program is very clever in design. It is engineered to attack the victim while he occupies the same environment as the non-victim. Now, you may be asking yourself, how is this possible? Well, what these perpetrators use is a tool known as sensitization. If you would, take a look at these next two video clips. Okay, so nothing unusual there, right? Just a car with a bike and a horse trailer, right? Now, take a look at these next few images. Now, if you've seen these images each day, every week, every month, for several months or several years, you would become sensitized to these images. And as a sensitized person, if you were alongside someone who was not sensitized, and the two of you seen either of these, you would have two different reactions. The one who is sensitized would be on high alert, while the one who is not sensitized would not have any reaction at all. Pretty slick, huh? Very methodical. Now, obviously I have been sensitized to cars with bicycles and horse trailers. Currently I am also sensitized to out-of-state tags, primarily the state of Florida with a new emphasis on the state of Ohio, local agencies, and of course the color red. Now, let's talk about how this program is managed and how one becomes a victim. First, let's look at the FBI and what they consider to be a potential domestic terrorist. Here I have a list of 72 behaviors and characteristics the FBI searches for when determining if one is a homeland threat. Included on this list are those that are anti-abortion, those that are anti-nuclear, and simply those that want to make the world a better place. Now, upon closer study and looking at this list, one can conclude that any one or more than one of these behaviors can pertain to anyone in the United States. In other words, this list has been cleverly designed to include anyone and everyone. Anyone could be labeled a homeland threat. Now, fusion centers is where information is compared and processed that is harvested from emails, from phone conversations, from medical records, and from purchase histories. The CIA, DHS, and FBI compare, dissect, and fuse this information at these fusion centers. The real problem, however, lies in the ease of manipulation. This is where the problem originates, and the abuse of the agenda for the search for homeland threats is exploited. This article I have here from the Examiner dates back to September 2011. It's one of the better articles I've read describing this injustice. I'd like to share a few key points with you. Number one, FBI documents obtained by human rights groups show 8,000 American targeted individuals are being secretly persecuted because their names are on a strictly confidential government watch list. Now, this article dates back to 2011. I think 100,000 is probably a more realistic number. Number two, this document includes a notice issued December 21st, 2010 to field officers from counterterrorism that states in capital letters, do not advise the subject that they may be on a terrorist watch list. Number three, ever made someone angry? A person who agrees with the American way of revenge, such as calling your name into the local fusion center? Ever jilted a lover? According to those protecting the fatherland, these situations are sufficient enough to be targeted and kept on a watch list no matter what. And number four, and the most disturbing, it only takes 2 people to report a target. 2 people. Herein lies the problem. You take the 72 characteristics that the FBI is searching for when determining if one is a homeland threat, and combine that with a 2-person witness account that one is a homeland threat, and you're now set up for one of the biggest abuses of power in the history of the world. And when you are deemed a homeland threat, you will experience the most bizarre transition in life you could ever imagine. There is no due process and there is no day in court. Your harassment is relentless. Now, let's look at some of these perpetrators out in the street that are committing these crimes, and one of the tools they like to use, street theater. If you would, take a look at this next video clip.
What I'm going to demonstrate here are 2 different versions of street theater. This first version is a brief conversation of someone on a cell phone. Now this street theater can be done with a cell phone, as this perpetrator is doing. When this perpetrator arrived, he sat on the opposite end of this coffee house until the table in front of me vacated. As soon as it vacated, he relocated quickly from his table to the table you see him at now, and immediately pulled out his cell phone. Now first, notice his escalated voice. This is used for hooking your attention. Once he has hooked your attention, he will next use catchphrases, as these stalkers want their presence known. And these catchphrases could include anything that pertains to you, family names, bank account numbers, where you work. Let's listen for a minute.
Oh yeah, I mean, he'll be fine. I mean, the thing that it is, the thing that it is like, you know, this happened once with John Gibbs, and you know, that seemed to work pretty well. And I want to make you think that we, you know, we're on the camera, right? Right. Yeah, well, I'll handle it, but I just want to make sure you're okay with that, and then. That's fine. So, yeah, just so you know, yeah, and what I've been doing too, I mean, I think I'm making progress with some of your accounts, and my goal is to have, you know, between now and the end of the quarter, somewhere between 9 to 10 of total appointments set up for you. So that's why, I mean, and like I said, I feel like I'm making headway with them. I've got some good contacts going, so just, you know, just be patient. We'll get them done.
Are we ever going to get to the point where, like,
Listen, have a good weekend. I'll talk to you on Monday. Terrific. Thanks. All right, you bet.
Speaking awfully loud for a private business conversation, isn't he? I hid the camera from his sight so he wouldn't deviate from his catchphrases. Now, let's take a look at the perpetrator in this next video clip. The second example we're going to look at is this perpetrator conversating with someone else. This time I wanted her to see the camera to get her reaction to the camera's presence. She immediately stopped her catchphrases when she noticed I was filming and documenting her. I use this example primarily because I wanted you to see how many times she looks at my camera and just how much it is bothering her that she is being filmed and documented. Now listen to her conversation briefly and then watch her reaction to the presence of the camera. Now let's reveal to her that she's being filmed and check out her reaction to the presence of the camera. Not once does she say a word about the camera. Although she is locked in on it, she just keeps checking to see if it's there and hopes I might remove it so she can start her street theatrics again. This is typical of the perpetrator's reaction when video is used to record their theatrics. When they realize that they are now on my file to resource whenever I need it, they will talk about anything but catchphrases. What I've done here is reverse their attempted implantation of uncomfortableness and used it against them. Now the negativity they intended to poison me with is being used against themselves. They are afraid of exposure, period. The street theater is a huge part of the driving methodology of this modernized COINTELPRO. While occupying the same environment, this program has been engineered with years of research and fine-tuned to affect and impact the victim while leaving the non-targeted individual unaffected, despite the fact victim and non-victim are sharing the same environment.
What the perpetrators are trying to trigger with these street theater tactics is an anxiety disorder known as agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is an anxiety disorder that is characterized by anxiety when the sufferer perceives his environment to be dangerous, uncomfortable, or unsafe. Now, this leads to dissociation, which leads to the targeted individual's isolation. I cannot emphasize to you the seriousness of this disorder. Now, the perpetrators are gunning for the victim's total mental collapse with these tactics and with this disorder. They are trying to make you do something you normally would not do, and they'll do anything and everything to make this reality. The inmates are running the asylum, so to speak. Now, while the methodology of this program is very clever, this system does have two significant flaws, and they are major. One is exposure by video camera, and the second is the mental incapacity of the street level perpetrator. Let's face it, people, these guys are no mental giants. They have succumbed to mind control. They have already sold themselves out, so to speak. They are brainwashed robots that do whatever they are told, whatever they are ordered. They don't question, they don't complain, they just obey. Now, to further the perpetrator's downfall, they have been working in these brainwashed, synchronized teams or units for so long, they've lost all sense of individuality. In other words, these guys can't even order a cheeseburger without consulting each other first. Now, earlier in this video, we talked about this post-2000 COINTELPRO and some of its Stasi characteristics. Take a look at this video clip.
The purpose of the Stasi was spying on the population using a diverse network of citizens turned informants. The strategy of the Stasi was to fight any opposition by overt and covert measures. This includes the psychological destruction of the victims involved. One of the main attributes of Stasi symbolism is the color red. The two guys in this video use red t-shirts and red shoes to exhibit Stasi symbolism.
Let me reemphasize, this has got to be one of the biggest abuses of power in the history of the world. And for those of you in the public sector who are not victims, and those of you who are skeptics, I hope I've given you some things to strongly think about and consider. Not target it today, target it tomorrow. I highly recommend this article from the Examiner back in 2011, and the credibility of this study of agoraphobia and gang stalking from UC Berkeley goes without saying. You can contact me with comments. My email is attached.